moments to go, so it's very
I
quick.
have a meeting, so I literally have 1 minute.
Are you going to apologize?
You know, first, I haven't actually been asked to apologize, and you heard that in council today. And I think that it's clear to highlight that what we're talking about here is a policy that suggests whether or not councillors should have the same rules that apply to other city employees apply to them. That's that. This whole thing has been blown way out of control. And as I pointed out today, what I said was that I have received tons of complaints about this, which is true. So there's nothing to retract, there's nothing to apologize for. If folks wanted to turn that into, I've said that tons of people are drunk in public, they can do that. But what I said was, I've received lots of complaints about people's behavior, and that's true. So there's nothing to apologize for, absolutely nothing. So that said, the city auditor has very helpfully suggested that she will look at these things regardless of whether there's a policy or not, and citizens who have those sorts of complaints can go straight through our poorly named whistleblower program. And I think that is just fine. So with that, I do have to go to my meeting, but I'll give you a second if you've got anything on anything else. On anything else.
You're talking about the raises.
Yes, I thought you might want to ask about that. Yes, so we're in a different position right now than is the provincial government, in that the provincial government is running an operating deficit. They really have to find ways to cut costs, and they're looking at reopening kind of salary discussions. It sounds like at least the Premier is talking about that. In the case of the city, we have budgeted for these salaries. It's already in our budget. Changing the salary rate would not change anybody's taxes. It would just mean there's a little bit of money, about $200,000, sitting in the city's account for some 36 or so, I think it's 36 or so managers who are covered by this. So council decided today that it makes sense for us to go forward with what we've already budgeted for. This does not mean that the question of public sector salaries will not be looked at again in the future, should we run into more financial troubles. But it is important for us to separate the city's finances from the provinces. We're not running an operating deficit. We can manage the expenses we budgeted for, and this is an expense that was budgeted.
Thanks, everybody. We need to get going.